Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. And as soon as this morning we have a slight challenge because you may not be hearing us on the main frequency, 91.9. I think you will be hearing us on 91.5. We on Facebook and YouTube. 91.5 may cover areas more like St. George's area and other areas. But the people who normally reach us on 91.9, the technology is there. We on Facebook, we on YouTube. And sometimes we know most people have the internet. Some of the elder ones may not know how to use it, how to maneuver. And perhaps you could ask the children to help you. The children that goes to school, they're quite capable, most of them, particularly the secondary schools, they're quite capable of helping you to get YouTube. And if you have the internet at your home, then that is not of a big challenge. We want you to participate in our program. We will take quite a lot of the posts. We'll make an effort to read some of the posts from YouTube and Facebook this morning. And we'll read them out. And you can ask questions there. It's always a challenge, you know. We have a war going on in Ukraine and Russia. A number of people have fatigue with this war because a new war starts between Hamas and Israel. And the situation there is challenging. Who is right or who is wrong is neither here nor there. Because you could go back over 3,000 years, these people been arguing who is right and who is wrong. So they turn professionals in advancing arguments. But one of the things I think that is a challenge, and sometimes you don't hear it on the media, is that Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, and Syria, they don't recognize Israel's right to exist. As far as they're concerned, Israel should be in the bottom of the sea. They're not prepared to negotiate with Israel. Hamas have been accused of using their own people as human shields. So the headquarters, based upon the Israeli arguments, is under the main hospital. You don't hear the countries speaking about that. Where the rules of war are concerned, this is unacceptable. You ought not to use your military base in a residential area, in a school, in a refugee camp, and to put your main headquarters under a hospital is showing gross contempt for the life of your own citizens. These things are not addressed by a lot of the Muslim countries. They would say Israel should not punish all for the actions of Hamas. But I don't hear they condemning Hamas for using women and children as human shields. Now, these are some of the things in the international community that is current, and I always want to delve in. But today in Grenada, it's a long time we didn't speak about agriculture. And we don't want to lose sight of agriculture. Sometimes the issues in agriculture transcends political parties. They have been with us since eon. When you speak about them, you seem to be attacking the government that be. But those issues are with us in agriculture. More often than not, I take a shot at the University of the West Indies. I believe the University of the West Indies could have done much more for agriculture than what they are doing. John Compton said the University of the West Indies has not done justice to agriculture. He said we're worse off than the days of Pharaoh. Because in the days of Pharaoh, we had the bullocks and the cart. He said we're fighting with the hoe and the spade. Somewhere in the early 80s, John Compton said that. And I agree with him. The University of the West Indies practically represent a think tank. That is where we have our intelligentsia, our best academic brains. But I don't think they have assisted and helped the political directorates in the Caribbean. The University of the West Indies have not given invaluable support to the dreams and aspirations of our people. Not even in agriculture. And I know a lot of academia set like 10 crab trap to take me on that. And I'll ask simple questions like, how much of our intelligentsia, academia, tertiary educated are involved in the fishing industry? How much of them? What the University of the West Indies have done for the fishing industry in the Caribbean? What? What the University of the West Indies? Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother. Welcome.
How was the weekend?
Great, man. Good, man.
Yeah. Mr. Pierre, I ask you every question, right? Who voted the NDC into governance? The people in the diaspora? Mr. Pierre, when you look what we are seeing every week, a set of ministers and the cronies traveling to go and have gala party. And when they leave and they go, they enjoy themselves up there. While the people in Greater Caribbean, Peter Martinique, suffering, nothing good, nothing in store for the poor class of people in the country to help develop the living standard. Nothing good. Mr. Pierre, when you look at it again, what you are seeing, this government is playing a game with people, and people have to see what the government is doing. People that may criticize them, they will pay them just to keep them all short, so then they will not say anything about them. But I always say, love for people is more important than money. Yeah, I'm not saying you don't need money. But then when you see people going through the hell, we look at how the government treating the pockets of people. And you was talking about the people, but then they give you something, and you shut them out now. You're on the side of the people who victimize it, the people who are going to compete in Martinique. Why? Why are they doing that? After the people give you the blessing, they give you the support, they support you, they vote for you, for change and betterment in their life. Look at what is happening to them now. You turn them back on them. You don't care about them. All you care about traveling on a plane every day, every week or every week they go away to have gala party with the big friends in UK or other places. Mr. Pierre, that is not right. This is not right. And I always say, Mr. Pierre, in life, people of Greater Caribbean compete in Martinique. You vote for a man for something to make it better. But look at what he's doing right now to you. Yes, you forgive him, but remember, they must come back to you. They will come back to you. And when they come back to you, you know what to do. As they said in the old gay writers to say, vote when you learn how to make your X. And make your X properly. So when come next election, you know what to do. The power will be in your hand. The power in the hand now, they treat it, they do what they want, but they will come back to you. And when they come back to you, you know what to do. Tell them, well, when I was in need, you did not help me. Right? I was naked, I didn't have money. You told me, but you didn't tell me. But now we come and make promises again. Promises that look nice. People are going to compete. You have to be careful. When people promise you something, there are some promises, you know, that it cannot happen. It cannot happen. Don't look at the people that will be speaking proper grammar, speaking good proper grammar, and excellent speaker. But many of the things that they are saying, Mr. Pierre, is a lie. Is a lie. And I believe one of the ministry this government should have, and I will give them an A in all of ministry, ministry of who or smart one another in lie more. You are smart great people by lying, and the second to lie for them. Great people take care. You know to know what is going on and know what a government could do and what they cannot do. Have a blessing.
Yes, scholar, well, you have a right to be concerned. The Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell, has considered the diaspora as the 16th constituency. This is extremely significant, and perhaps one would argue it may well be the 16th and most important constituency. So I think what we could do is to recognize this National Democratic Congress is putting immense emphasis on the 16th constituency. And since the government have a policy of need to know, perhaps for the other 15 constituency, we could ask the 16th constituency, which is the diaspora, to ask questions for us. In the gala, the first couple galas I had, they didn't used to ask questions. We made a lot of noise in Grenada, and the government start entertaining questions in the other gala. So what we need to do is to put some of the questions outside there that we want them to ask. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, I want to be really a little bit on Palestine and Israel, Hamas, Hezbollah. How do you see Hamas? Terrorists or freedom fighters?
I see them as terrorists.
Why?
Because they are using their own people as human shields. Now, throughout history, people fight for freedom, they fight the oppressors. But some of the greatest warriors in history never use women and children as human shields. This is one of the issues I believe about Hamas and Hezbollah that I don't agree with.
Mr. Pierre, for 74 years, the Palestine was going through that horrific war, that ethnic cleansing with Israel. Hamas is not a terrorist group. Hamas is a freedom fighting group. These people fighting for the land. Mr. Pierre, people fighting for the land. With blood and tears.
The argument about their land is argumentative because both sides is advancing the reason why the land is theirs. And they have been arguing for 3,000 years.
Mr. Pierre, who give Israelites the right to take the whole of Palestine, the whole of Palestine, in your own country. In your own country, man put war to guard in your own land. It's like Mr. Pierre, listen, it's like in South Africa when all black people over the world was fighting against apartheid. What Netanyahu doing is apartheid. We fight against it already. We fight against apartheid. I support Hezbollah, Hamas, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Look what going on. Look what going on. I'm a prisoner. I'm a prisoner. It's like Netanyahu is like more bishop, you know. Right? What about thousands of prisoners you have in prison? Right? Without no charge. Without no charge. Have them in prison. You put them on all kind of wall around the land. In their own land they can go. You have Palestinian people weighing the key in the neck.
Caller.
50 years now, weighing the keys in the neck.
Caller.
As a gold, as a pendant in the gold chain because they were pushed out at their own house. You understand? So I support Hezbollah, Hamas, 1,000,000%. The world know, Israel and America know, to get Hamas, they have to go underground. Hamas lives underground. Let it go underground and find Hamas underground. Why are you shelling building, shelling hospital, and making people to believe that the gateway to the tunnels is under hospital?
You don't believe that?
Eh?
You don't believe?
Right.
Caller.
You bomb the hospital. Go down there and meet them.
Caller. These people have been arguing and fighting for thousands of years. So when we get deeply involved in the arguments they put forward, is either we put all the arguments on the table and deal with it, or we take one side. And if we just openly take one side, so we are not able to access or analyze the arguments on the next side. So we have to be open. It's quite true both of them playing the fool. But we have to be open and put the arguments on the table. And nothing is wrong.
Right now. Look what's going on right now. Israel is carrying ethnic cleansing in Gaza. Ethnic cleansing with Gaza. Who's speaking out?
Caller. Most of the information outside there is supportive of the Palestinians. Yeah, go on. Yeah, I thank you. Thank you, caller.
All right, bless.
Yeah. And you know, it's good to sit down and have discussions on that, and I always tell people, try to have an open mind on that. The Jews, after World War II, Hitler decided he wanted a world without Jews. Over 6 million Jews was assassinated, executed, some sent into gas chambers. And the Jews was running from Europe. The Caribbean refused to accept Jews. Perhaps the Jews is one of the most hated group in the world. And maybe someday we should discuss why. Or when we meet, when people sit on the block, they should discuss why. But even the Caribbean countries refuse to accept boatload of Jews. Some of them end up in Venezuela. Venezuela accepted them. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Remember the land where Israel says this. When the Americans fight out the people, the Palestinians, and they run, the Americans are in Israel. Is not Israel is in Israel. And you're supposed to know that in the Bible. The people that are in Israel is not Israelis. It's Americans.
Caller. These statements is just they are arguments 3,005.
You go over it again.
Caller. We don't have the time, but I could give you tonloads of arguments otherwise. So let us deal with the situation as is now. You have, and I think perhaps that is where the world needs to go, to ask for a ceasefire and to come with an alternative on the table for settlement. The Arabs, the Palestine refuse about 5 different options presented to them for peace, because they say Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, they don't prepare to negotiate with the Jews. They want the Jews extinct. They want the Jews dead. They want the Jews in the bottom of the sea. So out of the 4 or 5 options that have been brought to them on the table from 1947, they rejected all of them.
But that is our own why.
So we must, that we here who jumping on the Israeli sides, jumping on the Palestine sides, have to sit down and look at all the facts.
I ain't jumping on no side.
I know. Right now, a lot of sympathies out there for the Palestinians.
What's going on right now is in the Bible.
Yeah.
They have to fulfill, and that is what's happening right now. And you're going to see.
Well, so that argument been going on for 3,000 years.
Yeah, the land of Israel will be the head of the state. They do, but what goes on?
And in the 6-day war, the Palestinians didn't own the land.
Yeah.
During the 6-day war, the Palestinians were not controlling the land, you know. And after the 6-day war, Israel made peace with Egypt and Jordan.
That because the Americans run them from the
But
land.
it doesn't matter when you come back with the American again, the Israelis.
Mr. Pierre, why do you think America is so behind Israel? Why do you think they do what they're doing? Is American in Israel? It's not.
Okay.
Because if you look at the thing properly, and you fight the war, they run them people from the. That's why the Palestinians fighting them back. They want the land. That's what's going on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they're fighting them back for the land. And they don't want that. The American, that's why you see they're running, the American running up every minute and saying they don't want no peace. Because they want you to claim the whole people's property. Anyhow, have a good day, Mr.
Yes, thank you, caller. It's a very controversial issue, and you wish you could discuss that issue with coming up with options for settling the issue. Because once you end up in this argument, these Jews and these Arabs could argue. They're arguing with God, they're arguing with Allah. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yeah, my brother.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, do you know that the people who is in Israel now, they were the people that Hitler killed during the Holocaust?
Well, not those that escape death. Those are the killed, not dead.
Okay.
Those that escape death.
So
Hitler killed about 6 million Jews.
Because he said there was the false Jews.
Yes, Hitler said he want a world without Jews. He said the black race is the worst race in the world. He'll keep them for slaves. But he wanted to kill all the Jews. You didn't hear this? Black people doesn't say that. And after the war, Jews was running. Some was walking to Zion. Some of them was walking back to Palestine, They was running all over the world. The Caribbean refused to accept Jews. Although Hitler killed 6 million, Caribbean countries, Barbados and Trinidad, refused to accept Jews. They end up in Venezuela.
Could I ask you a question?
Go right ahead.
Who the Jews pray to?
The Jews pray to God. They don't recognize Jesus Christ as the Messiah. They see Jesus Christ as a prophet, just as how Islam don't recognize Jesus Christ as the Messiah. Islam see Jesus Christ as a prophet.
Who do you pray?
We pray to God, the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
So you don't believe in Jesus?
Yeah, well, we are Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ Himself, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the Trinity.
So why are you supporting the Jews?
Carla, I don't support Jews. I don't support Islam. The issue there, we look at it not from a view of support, but trying to be objective. A lot of communist countries don't support the Jews. The Jews is a people that perhaps is one of the most hated group in the world. That is why Hitler killed 6 million Jews. Jews was persecuted in almost all countries in Europe. And this was running. Jews end up in the Caribbean. And some Caribbean islands refuse to give them shelter because they don't like the Jews.
So the Jews now could be classed as refugees.
Well, the Jews did during the Russian problem. Israel took 1 million Jews from Russia. Israel took about 50,000 Jews from Ethiopia. They claim that they were the descendants of Queen Sheba. You know, in the Bible, when they talk about Queen Sheba and Solomon, Israel took Jews from Venezuela. So the Jews were going back to Israel because you see the trip back to Zion. So when Marcus Garvey started back to Africa, the first group of people that support them was the Jews. And now we say the Americans, but it was the British that was down in that part of the world. The British got fed up. Every solution they come with, the Arabs object to it. At one time, 80% of the land was provided for the Arabs and 20% for the Jews. The Jews say we will accept the 20%. The Arabs said no. About 4 or 5 peace treaties were made. The last was being Arafat, and I forgot the Jewish fella, with Clinton. They rejected all because they want to see the Israelis in the bottom of the sea. They don't recognize Israel's right to exist. And sometimes when we in discussion between these two people, we forget that part. Israel is dealing with a group of people that does not recognize the right to exist. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, my brother.
Where is it called Canaan? Where's Canaan?
You got to do some geography, you know.
The land of the Listen to me. Listen to me. And you could tell me anywhere which part you have your rum shop in St. Andrews, so one day I could come up and drink some rum and we could talk some talk.
I have rum shop all about. You could come and meet me in Blogger Hollow. Are they in all different kind of rum shop? I don't want specific rum shop. The rum shop is a place where you hold discussion after dinner. But since we hardly getting food anyway, man, Grenville, you could come in Maxi.
They are saying we can't take on the radio.
You could come in Maxi Bar and meet me. You could come in Daigo. You could come in Blogger Hollow. You could. Anyway.
All right, 1 weekend I'll come meet you in the rum shop.
Anyway, man. We could sit down and hold discussion.
And we could talk some politics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Bless up.
Good man.
Bless up.
Yes, the gentleman was talking about the diaspora. And we have to remember Deacon Mitchell decided, it's not written, that the diaspora is the 16th constituency. And he's putting a lot of emphasis on the diaspora. So what we need to do is to appeal to the people in the diaspora to ask Deacon questions on our behalf. For instance, we beg the people in the diaspora, the next time you have a gala, ask Deacon why he remove money from the Imanis. Why did he remove money from the Imanis? Some of them up to $300. They lost. Deacon Mitchell removed the money. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost that caller. We could ask Deacon that question. We could also ask Deacon, what is the amount of money that a barber, a hairdresser, and a lawyer have to pay as fees to government? You in the diaspora, you that in Gala, ask Deacon Mitchell, what is the amount of money that a barber, a hairdresser, and a lawyer have to pay as fees? Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Good afternoon. Mr. Pierre, I sit down here and I listen to those people speaking. And to me, none of them don't know what is a Jew. They don't say anything. Listen to me. Mr. Pierre, in 1948, Israel didn't have no home. They were scattered all about the place. They had in Jerusalem, some from David, they were worshiping in David temple and all kind of things. but the United Nations give Jews a home in the place where they call in Palestine. They separated Palestine and Jews. But now, if the Muslim, then Palestine is Muslim. You know. This is a war, Muslim against Christian. You know. There's no simple war watching there. You know. If the Muslims take over, they're killing all those Jews. They're killing all those Jews based on what they're saying. They plan to wipe Israel of them up. So I can't know Israel. What Israel doing now? They decide they're taking half in the Gaza Strip. They say they cut it already. They cut it half, and they second that when they don't mash it up, and they kill out all them Hamas and them. They're keeping that for the attack on them. So Mr. Pierre, this never let it up.
Thank you, caller. So you have the diaspora, and some people in Grenada are concerned, and rightly so, that government is spending immense time with the gala. This perhaps is about 10 galas that the government have. And obviously people asking who is paying to pay the people from Grenada to go in these galas? Well, the Prime Minister justifies it by saying the diaspora is the 16th constituency. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, afternoon.
Yeah, my brother, welcome.
It's Palestinian-Israel issue. I could talk about that for the whole day.
Yeah, but we ain't taking, we're punching on that.
Hello, interesting. This is why you're cutting off people. Interesting that I'm reading a book right now, which I've read already, yeah? The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. That's where Hitler went through the process of trying to exterminate the Jews. Actually,
well, you read that already a lot of years ago?
And I buy a new one. I buy one now. But the one I got before, it was from the library. And I have a copy on my own. And I'm reading it right now. Mr. Pierre, and there's something in that book I have to show you, I have to bring up one day, concerning the neophytes that you've been talking about. The writer in that book described the people of Germany and the politicians of Germany at the time, same way you describe the politicians that run this country nowadays. So anyway, I was going to say that the Palestinian people, the Arab nations doesn't want them in their country. This is why they're so concentrated in the Gaza. When they go and try to get occupation and so on in the other countries and around them, they chase them. That's normal. They don't accept them. So people need to understand this is why these people are so concentrated in that area. But I'll deal with that subject in a minute due time. Mr. Pierre, interesting. On Wednesday gone, there was Forrester, the spokesman for the present government, and the NDC at the same time, saying, and he reiterated that same thing yesterday on the program they have during the lunchtime, that when the Prime Minister go away, he goes to raise money for the NDC party. He made that perfectly plain and clear on Wednesday gone. Yesterday he reiterated. I mean,
I tell you, the man is a fake.
What kind of thing is that? What? And you know what is amazing again yesterday? There was Terry Forrester. Well, they're doing a radio program from where I'm hearing it. But it's something that they could show on Facebook and thing too. So they were showing the part, and he was going to introduce that part, where the Prime Minister is hugging up the old people, and look how nice he look, and look how nice the people reacting to him. The very old people that he take up the $150, the $150 from the grant that we get in to have these people a little bit happy. He take up the $150 and he go hugging them up.
I tell you, the man is a fake.
What? I mean, and and he was very so glorifying the whole thing, How nice the whole thing is happening, how nice the whole thing is being done. Excuse me? No, man. Talk about fake. Yeah. Talk about hypocrisy. Yeah. Talk about that kind of thing. This diaspora visit is being used, the man plainly said, is to raise money for the party. The man is not on government trip, and all taxpayers' money that is being used to furnish his gala. Well, I say I should say he's gallivanting, not gala. Our taxpayers' money is being used for him to go gallivanting. I hope you know what the old people mean by gallivanting.
Yeah.
Have a time.
Having
You
a
don't
good
have a
time.
time. Take care, sir.
Yes, that is why I ask people to research Leopold II. Leopold II. And if you forget this big name, just go and put the butcher of the Congo. He wanted to live so much a lavish lifestyle. He wanted to live in luxury that he didn't mind ripping the skin from the backs of the black people of the Congo. And I ask you to research Michael de Freitas. You could put Trinidad near to it so you get it quick. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, go lead that one with you.
Yeah.
Netanyahu is the man who armed Hamas to fight against Arafat. You know? Remember that? Eh?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. Netanyahu is the man who armed Hamas to fight against Arafat. Remember that? Thank you, sir.
Yes, see, this issue there is tie up like a crab. Sometimes when you have young organization, they show up themselves as if there is a charitable organization, a charitable group, or education program. And you not knowing the ulterior motive. That is why I'm not too quick to pass judgment on people. You know, I'm not too quick. I want to watch you. I want to study you before I come with my opinion. And my opinion is based upon the facts that I have. But if Deacon Mitchell consider the people in the diaspora as a 16th constituency and is putting immense emphasis on them, then it's important that we here beg them to ask questions for us. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello?
Go right ahead, caller.
Hello, Mr. Pierre?
Yes, punch.
You hear me?
Yes, caller, I hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
I would like to know what these nanny people and them doing with the money they get from selling passports. I would really like to know what they do with that money.
Okay.
Huh?
Yes. Yeah. Well, obviously, yes, caller. Every now and then, you're going to hear they provide some assistance for something in Grenada. The government had put aside 40% of this money, I think, for period of disaster and other emergencies that come out. Already they reduce it to 10%. Some of this money, I understand, is going to go to pay, as before, finance or debt and etc. And every now and then you're going to hear the government contributing money to some charity or activity in the country. But when you select a government, and particularly we choose a government that have no experience in politics, because we claim we fed up with politicians. So we selected a bunch of political neophytes. They knew. We didn't realize how greedy they was. It's a new greedy group. And they're hostile to the elderly, the physically challenged, and disadvantaged children. So we end up with one of the worst group of politicians ever in Grenada. They have declared the diaspora as a 16th constituency. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
Yes,
this
caller.
40%, this 40%, the government passport, passport. They don't put a shit in it. When they go about, they don't nothing in this money.
Caller, you're breaking up.
Huh?
You're breaking up. Either you... Caller, you're breaking up. So not hearing you good. Yeah, you see, there are some issues. I open myself for challenge, you know. I want you to challenge me. The government went in parliament and passed a law to reduce the 40% to 10. That's all I'm saying. And that is a fact. You know, that 40% was there for Siankatuka. That is what the government have it there for, Siankatuka. That is an old word we use. So many people now chastising Grenadians how they speak on radio. So Grenadians trying to speak good English on radio and forget the expression and the communication. In yesteryear, my parents used to say, Siankatuka. Nice word. You must continue to use it. So I encourage Grenadians to ask the relatives away. Tell them some of the situation that is going here, that the government remove money from the Imani workers. Up to $300 was removed from the pay. When we start talking about that, they tell them they're going to get an increase in January. You see the hide and seek the government pay. And we want to ask the government, what is the amount of money that a barber, caller, you could ask the government too. You notice I didn't say what. Asking question. What is the amount of money that a barber, a hairdresser, and a lawyer have to pay as fees? Let them tell you. I want to see the shock on your face when you're here. You could even ask them why they fired 31 but 3 workers from Granby Estate. You in the diaspora, ask these questions. Because the government consider the diaspora as the 16th constituency. And they are spending a lot of time and money. The government even removes the houses that people in the lower income should get. And I understand they're reserving some of the houses for you in the diaspora. So this is the reality. But I always say people deserve the government they have. We selected this government. And sometimes we deserve the government that we have. Something we got to lament on. It is sad and it's unfortunate. The government practically making fun. The government, and I say the government because top members of the echelons of government, the ministers, some of them mouthpiece, all on Facebook, they're making fun of the people they trick. The elderly people, they promise money and they take out the money from them. They physically challenge. They remove money from the Imani. Yesterday when I told a NDC heavyweight that he looked shocked. So I tell him, go and find out. I like to shock them with information, you know. And that is why I like the rum shop. I call it the symposium. That is how Aristotle and them resort to it. That's where you go and have a discussion after dinner. Normally, Deacon will go to a gala. They have drinks in the gala too, and they have a discussion. And they go to the hotel lounge. In England, they go to the pub. They go to the hotel bars. But we, ordinary rustic, we go to the rum shop. So no difference. The same alcohol and drinks that are served there. When you go to the gala, that is what is served. Alcohol, food, and drinks. And you have a discussion. In the rum shop with our mic. But we voice loud. We speak. So yes, these are some of the questions that I think recognize that the government is putting significant emphasis on the diaspora. And one of the medium they have is galas. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, you say you like challenges. I want to give you a challenge. You talk about Gaza and the street. We talk about, everybody is concerned about the war that is fighting down there between Israel, the Jews and the Palestinian, Israel and the Palestinian. I just want to test your brain a little bit. You remember when Moses had to free the nation of Israel from Egypt bondage? And I'm talking about Bible days now. And they went to a land that God said he will give them to stay there they spent 40 years in the wilderness. This nation was the spiritual nation that God was fighting for. God didn't give this nation of Israel today weapons of mass destruction to kill people or to bomb people. No. God used one person in his days, and in the days of Moses, and in the days of Samson, one person to deal with things of war at that time. Now you're hearing hundreds of bombs and ammunition has been meted out to people. God don't like that. We should not be killing one another. Whether you are Jew or a Gentile, we should not be fighting one another. Love and peace should be prevail. That is why God asked Moses to take the nation of Israel with a free walk to the Red Sea and give them a land to spend so that they could be in peace. Because God is a God of peace and love. Thank you, Mr. Pierre. I'm listening to your program.
Yes, scholar. Next interesting point. These people had like Google, man. No matter what God tells them, they don't hear him. And they're wrangling with God. They're arguing with God. They head hard. And then they're begging and crying to God. And God will forgive them. So when we go back in these arguments, we're spending years arguing, While all these solutions that come on the table, the Arabs been rejecting the solution because they don't want to negotiate with the Jews. They want the Jews in the bottom of the sea. They want a world without Jews. Iran, Syria, Hamas, and Hezbollah. And they hiding below hospitals. And they find the rockets. So it's a serious challenge there. And while that is going on, yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, we lost that caller. And while that is going on, our government here now decide you have a 16 constituency in the diaspora. And every minute the prime minister is like a pilot or a hostess. He gone in gala. That is why I tell you to research Leopold II and Michael de Freitas. When you hear political leaders decide to live lavishly and abandon the poor and the needy, you're heading for destruction of grandiose proportion. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, that guy will just talk, right? If God didn't want people to defend themselves, ask him why did he support David to take over these country and them. Thanks.
Yes, I tell you, when you start with this argument, Jews like that, and they have practice in arguing, Them Jews could argue. When God turned it back with them, they grappling God, saying, hold on, God, hold on. I want to talk with you more. They arguing with God, they wrangling with God. They head hard as Google me. They hearing. And it appears that in Grenada, we have some version they head hard too. Deacon declared the 16th constituency every minute he on a plane. And he going yonder and he have them in gala, they having a good life. They fetting. They enjoying themselves. Buying expensive clothes. And while they do that, they doing it at the expense, at the cost of the most vulnerable in our country. The government take away the houses from the poor and the destitute. And he's offering it now. Based upon all what is going on and what we're seeing to those in the diaspora. And they're glad. They're glad. Some of them go stay and they could buy a house easy. 70,000 EC. Maybe they're about 30 something or 20 something US. 1,000 US. Some of them could buy that. While the poor and the destitute in Grenada, they remove it from them. That is the Imanis. That is why you have to ask the people in the diaspora. Ask Deacon why. Why did you remove money from the Imani? Why the NDC government hate this program so much? I'd have really liked to, if I would have had an opportunity to talk to any one of them, I would have asked them why they hate the program so much. To the extent that every time they come in power, they disadvantage the people in the program. Today, they remove, in some instance, up to $300 from the money that some of these Imani is getting. I mean, come on. How could you do that? You did not make them permanent. You told them before. You apologized to them. I know you trick them again and take out the money. And they can squeak, because you have the Ministry of Political Mischief, MIT, monitoring them. So you see, when I get this information, I have to wait a whole month, before I talk about it. Because I don't want them to know who give me. So I have to wait a whole month before I speak about it. It's not now they do that, They do that a good while now. But I'm now speaking about it because I don't want them to know from who I get the information. That is how things bad with these people. And you ask why? Why this government is so heartless while they're using government money to live an extravagant life. And that's why I ask you, take your phone and go and research Leopold II and Michael de Freitas. Go and research them and see what happened to these people. All because they wanted to live in grandeur. Extravagant life. On plane every week. In gala in New York, Frankfurt, Miami. They're in gala in America. Having a good time. So the most is the British, the imperial power in Europe had to appeal to the government to restrain Leopold because he was practically ripping the skin from the back of the people of the Congo for him to live a lavish life in his country. Deacon Mitchell, the Prime Minister of Grenada, in my opinion, based upon all what I see, is living off the backs of the poor and low-income people. Why do I say that? He removed money from them. The elderly and the physically challenged, disadvantaged children. The Imanis, the workers in Grand Bay Estate, they're out of a job. What is the reason? What is the justification? Gone to Saudi Arabia to get money? Money that he could obtain from the climate fund. But he might have more monitoring. Gone to Saudi Arabia. You know, when that's why they say we dissolve the government we're having. Those questions we ask, those NDC can answer that, always challenge them, always provoke them for discussion. They're running. They don't want to face these issues. So once again, I appeal to the people whose family members are participating in these galas to ask Dick Mitchell and the other Grenadians, heavyweights up there, what is the amount of money that a barber, a hairdresser, and a lawyer have to pay as fees in Grenada? Find out why is it they remove money from the Imanis. Give us some form of explanation why they remove money from the Imani. Ask him when he going to give the $650, the $650 he promised the elderly. When he going to give them? Because they was getting $450 and he take out $150. But he promised them $650. I don't know what kind of maths is that. When would he give them? Ask him for explanation, a justification. Why you fire workers on Grand Bay Estate? And you know what is sad about these workers? They were visited by the minister and the permanent secretary. And they set them up, you know. They set them up. They tell these workers they was doing a fantastic job. They satisfied with them. And the estate is targeted to grow weed. One of them in the rum shop, he tell me that. He feels so good, he even buy a drink in me. And a few days after I see him, he almost have tears in his eyes because he lost his job. He was fired. They lied to him. You know, these are the issues. These issues ain't going away. They're here, and we have to address them. We have to continue to pound at the heart of the members of the National Democratic Congress so they're going to get compassionate. I would really like them to visit the homes, the Richmond Hill home. Visit it as a group, the Cardrona home, so you will get a little bit more compassionate and you will be able to treat the people in the lower income group in these 50 years as we're celebrating independence, to treat them better. Thank you very much, and we'll be back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1, and we hope 91.9 will be up by that time. Thank you very much.